Quiet, fast, and steady. That's how Chinese car makers are taking over the electric vehicle world. It used to be
Tesla under control.
But now 6 of the top 10 EV brands are from China. In 2025, BYD overtook Tesla as the world's top electric car seller. With its lower costs, supply chain dominance, and industry-leading technology, China has a clear edge in the EV market. As oil shocks ripple out from the Middle East to drivers around the world, can China's EV giants seize opportunities in overseas markets? For drivers, the maths are simple. As the prices of petrol and diesel rise at the pump, they're starting to look for a way out.
Chinese EVs already benefit from the energy shock in big markets like Europe. And they will see more opportunities because Chinese EVs, even in the West, they are viewed as, value for money cars at the same price, maybe at the similar prices to those, established petrol car brands like BMW and Mercedes-Benz, but they have better performance.
For 60 zloty, you can drive 370 kilometer EV car. You can drive 101 kilometer on petrol, on diesel for 60 zloty. So the benefit today with electrical car is very, very big.
I choose these Chinese cars because their technology and it has efficiency systems, and a lot of my friends own these cars, so it's really amazing.
Industry analysts say this is a turning point for Chinese EVs.
When this oil crisis, in 1970s, actually gave the Japanese, gasoline car, because of their fuel efficiency, gave them a really big applause. And this time around, probably the Chinese EV will get the opportunity because EV doesn't need the gasoline at all.
It's no coincidence that Chinese EVs are first in the lane in the industry. China has spent at least $230 billion to develop its electric car industry, preparing for this moment.
The Go Global drive by the Chinese car makers for now is definitely a result of Chinese government support over the past decade. They invested like trillions of renminbi to help expand the charging network across the nation. They also give subsidies to consumers to encourage EV purchase.
Chinese companies are nimble. They have a significant amount of capacity, even overcapacity. And so this could be an opportunity for them.
Now those investments are paying off.
China has actually not the only, but majority of these battery, the motor suppliers in the world. So that's why China's NEV is so competitive. They can basically achieve half the price. Basically, the China's retail price usually is half the price of American or the price in the European market. Sometimes even probably 1/3 of some of the smaller EV sector.
Batteries are the single most expensive part of an electric car, and Chinese battery manufacturers dominate that sector. China's CATL is the world's largest EV battery maker, controlling the entire production process from refining key minerals to making battery cells and packs.
1 decade ago, EV could cost about 40% of a total car. Now I think one battery that can offer like 500 km driving range costs only like 30 to 40,000 yuan.
This dominance propelled Chinese EV manufacturers like BYD, Geely, and Li Auto into the top 10 global automobile manufacturers. BYD is targeting about 1.5 to 1.6 million EVs sold overseas in 2026, roughly doubling last year's sales. Its overseas sales climbed 65% in March 2026, hitting a 3-month high.
You can see BYD's export volumes really double almost every year.
But the exports are just a small fraction of their total sales. Why? It's because Chinese EVs face significant tariffs globally, including up to 100% in the US, 35% in Brazil, and just over 35% in Europe. So a BYD 7-seater van that's priced at 400,000 yuan in China would cost 115,000 euros in Europe. In Beijing, thousands of global consumers flocked to the annual auto show, where the latest Chinese EVs went head-to-head with European luxury car makers.
So you're looking at a car that's maybe 30,000 US dollars, as you said, and that car is fully equipped with the 6-seat SUV with an extended range powertrain, a refrigerator, a TV in the back, giant screens, and again, it's $30,000. Whereas in places like the United States, unfortunately, the market, $30,000 barely gets you into any electric vehicle or a hybrid at that price point.
But even with the additional costs, analysts say Chinese car makers are still profitable overseas.
I don't think that tariffs around the world are the biggest obstacle. That presents some challenges in some markets, but that's not really what's getting in the way of these car companies' progress and sales abroad. I think the second issue is really just what's demand look like elsewhere for EVs and for autos.
To cope with increasing export obstacles, many Chinese EV makers are shifting production. From building factories to partnering with local distributors, they're reducing geopolitical risks by making where they sell. BYD, which built its first overseas factory in Thailand in 2024, is now constructing a production base in Hungary, its first in Europe. The new plant is expected to start production in the second quarter of 2026.
Everybody are trying to localize. It's not just about tariff of each of the countries, but it's also about this integration into this local community to really build up your brand image. Instead of just CKD assembly in that country, you should start to locally source components in that area to create more job opportunities, to create more GDP for that country. And in this way, you become a local automaker.
Canada, meanwhile, has eased barriers for Chinese-made EVs entering the country. A preliminary trade deal between the two countries in January effectively lowered the surtax on Chinese-made EVs from 100 to 6.1%. And that's given hope to some attendees of the Beijing Auto Show.
No, it's all political. But that'll change because Canada has just released and able to have Chinese cars in, and they're big in Australia, big in New Zealand, so I think it'll only be 3 or 4 years before the Americans get it too, I suppose.
For now, China's EV makers are racing into a world hungry for cheaper, cleaner ways to commute. Whether the current oil shock becomes their true turning point will depend on how fast they can shift the crisis into lasting global power.